Good morning, welcome to our fireside chat about There Will Come Soft Rains. Ray Bradbury, the renowned science fiction writer, author of Fahrenheit 451, among many other things, wrote There Will Come Soft Rains in 1950, the height of Joseph McCarthy's anti-communist witch hunts, the 5 years after the United States dropped 2 atomic weapons on Japan to bring World War II to its conclusion, and 1 year after America's Cold War antagonist, the Soviet Union, detonated its own nuclear weapon. The awesome power of these weapons stirred anxiety among the public and compelled politicians and policymakers to work hard to convince people to accept nuclear weapons as a reasonable part of life and of defense policy. Bradbury set his story in August 2026, at the time 76 years in the future, but less than 10 years from today. An automated house stands alone in a fictional California city just recently destroyed by the blast from a nuclear weapon. The house, unlike any imagined in 1950 but not so far-fetched today, is so technologically capable that it cooks meals, reads poetry, arranges patio furniture, and even remembers important details of daily life. But in the story, the house performs its technological wizardry for owners now deceased, which we come to understand by Bradbury's description of their atomic shadows left on the exterior wall of the still standing house. A kind of reverse shadow outlines their figures left behind after they were vaporized by the intense heat of the nuclear flash. As the house continues on with its day, a fire accidentally erupts, thereby igniting the conflict of the story. To this point, the house, though functioning and in motion, has remained practically inert, stuck in the rut of repeating its irrelevant activities but unaware of its own futility. Attacking the mechanical but mindless motion, the fire begins to consume the house. The house, sensing the problem, deploys the fire suppression technology. The battle swings back and forth, and the fire ultimately causing the collapse of its house and all, or almost all, of its component technologies. The battle between an automated house and a fire, one of the fundamental elements of nature, clearly generates important questions about the role of technology in our lives and about the essential character of technology in relation to nature. The fact that the fire wins the conflict in the story leads the reader to draw the thematic conclusion that we humans cannot create technologies that completely solve problems that exist in nature. Neither can we create technologies that transcend the powerful forces that nature can unleash in our lives. One need only consider some of the more recent extreme weather events to see that. Clearly, Bradbury is concerned about technology's role and impact in our lives. And one concludes from the story, whether it's Bradbury's intention or not, that whatever technologies we create, they will generate both positive and negative consequences. One must further wonder if the power of the particular technology might be so great as to overwhelm us. In other words, if the negative effects deriving from or emanating from a technology are serious enough that that technology could evoke the risk of fundamental harm to people or humanity generally. There Will Come Soft Rains makes a strong cautionary statement about technology's role in our lives. Bradbury was addressing the obviously serious implication of extremely powerful weapons, but his warning might be all the more important with regard to technologies that dramatically alter our lives or patterns of living in community in far less obvious and but more destructive ways. If you're not sure what I mean, Google it on your smartphone.